Hey everyone, A Salvatore here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a fantastic weekend. And if you're watching this later in the week, I hope that's going good as well. As you can see, we are back in ETS2 for this one. And I wasn't even planning on recording this, but then I thought it might be a pretty cool thing to have on the channel. So anyway, here we are. And this video is gonna be around forestry. To be exact, the Forest Machinery DLC. I want to spend some time with it, just take a look at what it has to offer. It is actually released back in December of last year, and I only really got to it now, so I'm very curious to see what it brings to the game, how it plays, and all the specifics around it. But enough yapping, time to hit the road. We are in Finland right now, in one of those logging yards, the new ones, and we're going to take a job heading far north, I believe. Now, it just crossed my mind, and I think this is pretty interesting. You know how forestry is technically one of the main and most important industries in Northern Europe. So in countries like Finland, Norway, Sweden, logging is pretty much everywhere. And I just realized that I think it was pretty intentional that ETS2 released the Forestry DLC at the same time they released the Nordic Horizons DLC. It sounds like a perfect fit. It all makes sense now. It's clocking in my brain. And to be fair, I mean, it really is, right? Because the setting makes sense, the atmosphere, the terrain fits. So I guess I just want to have a proper go. Just, have a decent run, see how it actually plays in practice. Interesting. Now, this one on the right here, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, and don't quote me on it, but I think that's one of the cargoes. Right here is just used as a setting, as a background object model to fill in this beautiful yard, but I think it's one of the cargoes as well. And I know for a fact what we are taking now is a log harvester. I'll gotta pay attention now, make sure I'm doing this in one go. Don't wanna embarrass myself. I am using Be My Tracker, so at least I can use my both mirrors without... Okay, that was a bit rough, but it works for me. I'm gonna let you have a look. Should have a nice outside look of the log harvester, which is one of the 8th additions when it comes to cargo. But we'll talk about each one individually at some point in this video. Yeah, pretty neat. I think we can hit the road, and I love this. I think this looks really good. I don't think I've ever been here in this company specifically, but it's different. So I really like it. I remember the first time I saw, a logging yard in ATS, I was impressed, and pretty nice to have it in ETS2 as well. So yeah, I guess, besides having fun and exploring this DLC, what I want to do is answer the 3 main questions. And we'll do this progressively as we go. Is it worth the money? Who's the DLC for, right? Who did enjoy it most? And maybe how could it be improved? I do have a few things on my mind, not necessarily about how to improve it, but just, what I believe this DLC should be about. Let's take a look of the outside. Beautiful scenery. I mean, this DLC is just breathtaking. I'm talking about the Nordic Horizons, obviously. We're gonna take a look at what the Forestry DLC offers in a second. Let me just exit here so I can actually focus on what I'm saying. Okay, looks like it's clear. We should be good to go. We're gonna break down, what you can expect and what you're getting. It's gonna be, it's gonna be 2 things mainly. New cargo, obviously, one of which is what we're carrying, and I think in total you get 8 types of different equipment. But I'm gonna show it to you in a second. And then secondly, you get something for your truck. You get a few accessories, like tuning accessories, which I found to be a bit underwhelming. Now there's only 3 of them. There's what you see, that grill you see in front, just on my windshield, on the bottom of it. And I feel like that's nothing special in a way that we had that before with other DLCs. And not to complain about it, right? I'm just saying it's nothing special really. You have some headlight covers, which again, they're nice. I haven't seen them before, and they do make sense for a forestry. But I'm gonna be... Nice overtake from this guy. I'm gonna be honest, I think it's a bit pointless. I mean, it looks cool and all, but it's a bit pointless because there's no dirt. So you have all this, you know, you have mirror covers, you have this windshield cover, and you have headlight covers. Oh, gotta pay attention here. What am I doing? But yeah, I mean, there's no dirt. So when you see it all shiny, I'm on a forestry road. Again, this is not complaining. I'm just calling it as I feel it. Maybe I'm expecting too much, but you can let me know if you feel the same. Let's say I'm on a forestry road. Let's say it rains, and I'm having my truck tuned in for forestry and for doing logging and all this equipment, and then my truck is shiny. It doesn't sit right, So maybe I'm just looking into it a bit too much. I'm not sure. That's how I feel about it. Now, for the actual cargo that you're getting, I think I'm gonna just have an overlay here somewhere so you can see it all. But you're essentially getting the mobile traction winch, wood chipper, crawler, excavator, I believe, a skidder, what else? A mulcher or a mulker, whatever that's called. I know what it does, I just can't pronounce it. A log stacker, a log harvester, which is the one we're carrying, and the forwarder. So it's pretty much all you need in this industry, more or less. So the design of the DLC is pretty nice. I just feel like the other, the latter part, the tuning for the truck, it's a nice to have. It's just, I don't feel anything having it on my truck. So I don't feel like that's actually relevant. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm looking into it too much. Maybe I'm tripping here, but I feel like dirt should be a thing. For this to be believable, you should have some mud, right? You're going on a forestry road, and I'm not saying you should be pouring outside and you'd be stuck in a mud. This is not Snow Runner, right, or Mud Runner, but just the visual effect. And I can understand why if damage is not a thing because of the licenses and all that, but the dirt would be such a good addition. Right now we just don't have it. And I want to talk about whether this is worth it or not. I don't want to waste too much time because, it's an important question and it's gonna be subjective, but it's very hard to assess this in ETS2 because these DLCs are just very cheap. Initially, when it released, I think the price was $5 or whatever, €5. And right now, as I'm filming this, there's a Steam bundle going on. I think it's part of the 10-year anniversary Steam sale for ATS, and I think it's €3.50. But not just to get this DLC for ETS2, to get both DLCs for ETS2 and ATS. That's what it quotes me. I'm gonna put the price somewhere on the screen to see the bundle for yourself. So it's not even a question if this is worth it or not. I want to support SCS. I'm not a fan of this DLC necessarily, as in you'll see some of the reviews would call it as it is. I think it's a bit rushed. I don't think it was complete, and I'm not sure if it's fixed now. But when this released, it actually had some issues. I guess the headlight covers were misaligned on some of the trucks. Some of the options weren't available on all the trucks. I don't know the specifics, but I've seen some discussions about it, and I'm pretty sure they already fixed it by now, the SCS guys. But just to call it as it is, this DLC was nice, and it's great that it released when it did. But it wasn't their best, was what I'm trying to say. But then again, for $3.50 or €3.50 to get 2 DLCs for the 2 games you play, it's just a no-brainer. It's hard to even argue the pricing when this happens. And even if it's not the best they did, the fact that you want to support them, and I think that's what most people do, right? Personally, I don't think I've spent any time playing with the farm machinery DLC, although I want to. So I could have waited until today or next month to buy it when I actually wanted to play with it, but I just got it when it released. And I think a lot of people are doing that because they want to support SCS, and that's great. I'm fully supportive of that, and I think that's a great thing to do. And I think that's what keeps this going. So is it worth it? Absolutely. Is it the best DLC? No. That's just how I see it. Uh-oh, looks like there's trouble ahead. pretty serious car crash. Let's see if I can give you a better look. Oh yeah. It looks pretty serious. I love these random events. I actually have that slider really high because I enjoy seeing these. On the other hand, the random detours, those I hate, and I have that bar pretty much to 0. I don't want to have detours. I want to pick my own route. You know, maybe it takes away from the unexpected, but I don't mind it one bit. Would you look at that? Beautiful scenery once again. This is Nordic Horizons. If you haven't tried it, you should. Now, I wanted to, because obviously this was a pretty long run, but I didn't want to bore you guys, so I just cut through the driving, and I want to talk about how could this actually be improved. I'm talking about the Forestry DLC or the Farming Machinery DLC, because they bring cargo, they bring some tuning packs, and you know, they're nice. They have a decent price. I'm not mad about that, but I can't help but wonder, what if you had, like, I don't know, an event, like a random event where you had to deliver one of these things in a custom, I don't know, hidden road, you know, just a camp setting, like a logging setting that's hidden somewhere. And, you know, it would be a lot more work, don't get me wrong, because you'd have to modify the map and you'd have to, but what if this DLC, you know, or any kind of these DLCs would bring something? They would bring like a custom farm, if it's the Farming Machinery DLC, or for the Forestry DLC, maybe it would be a custom log yard just for that DLC, where a special type of cargo exists. I think that would just improve it a bit more. And then again, I don't want to repeat myself, but I think dirt would be such an important thing to have, especially when you're looking at these things. Hopefully one day we'll have it, but we'll see. Alright, well, we're approaching the end here, and I just wanted to let you know that it is a good DLC. It's nice, it's just a bit underwhelming, and I think it's good to be honest about it. I think these type of DLCs are hard to master, but I think the price is fair, right? There's not much you can ask for $5 or $3.50 for both games, but I think I would pay more if I could have just a bit more accessories, maybe some unique forestry delivery points with rural depots or dirt surfaced yards or narrow access roads, or even slight terrain variation. I don't know, I think it would be great to have some more challenging routes. I think that would really be the cherry on top here, and yeah, I think they can do it. But it is a good DLC. This was really fun. Rain is here. It took me maybe 30 minutes to park this thing. No, I'm just kidding, but either way, you already know what's going on. As always, until the next time, stay safe on the road and keep on trucking. Cheers.